Washington, D.C. at flyags.com. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
The steamy swelter continues. I'll let you know just how high those temperatures will go in your Viper 6 forecast.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, America's First Lady comes to Augusta. Why she chose the Garden City and what she considers a much-needed pathway.
And Augusta's rowing club could be getting a new place to store its equipment. We're taking a look at the proposed housing plan.
And a popular park being torn down in Thompson. What this means for the community as your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Hey everybody, I'm Brad Means.
And
Thanks for joining us.
I'm so sorry,
No,
Brad.
please, that's on me.
But I wanted to thank them for joining us,
We
too.
are so grateful.
We're so happy. I'm Jenny Montgomery. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, a code orange is in effect for North and South Carolina thanks to the haze from the Canadian wildfires.
But thank goodness, so far the air quality here not as bad as we check in with meteorologist Miller Hyatt.
That's right. We do have some smoky skies in the air, but at least we're not seeing it impacting us for the most part. We do have a few alerts in place, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But check out our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at Augusta Marriott. We can see the haze off in the distance. It's limiting our visibility a little bit, but for the most part, it's really just a hot day. We do have a few air quality alerts in place for McCormick and Saluda counties. And that goes until Wednesday at 10 a.m. So limit your time outdoors if you do have any respiratory health issues. But for the most part, most of us are not seeing any health quality issues, which is good news. So around the CSRA, temperatures are certainly on the warm to even some hot temperatures. 93 degrees right now in Augusta, 94 down in Wrightsville, 89 a little bit cooler up towards Edgefield. And unfortunately, these dew points remain high in the 70s. And what does that mean? That means it's feeling very muggy outside, makes it feel even hotter than the actual temperature. It feels like 102 degrees in Louisville, feels like 99 degrees here in Augusta. And right now our winds are calm, pretty light in the area, and that's going to continue. So as you head off to SRP Park for the baseball game with Augusta Green Jackets facing off against the Fredericksburg Nationals, we're seeing those hot temperatures continue, 90 degrees as we have that ball game starting around at 7:05 p.m. and continue to have the nice and warm conditions heading towards the overnight hours. So we continue to be in that hot and steamy air mass throughout the rest of the week, and we also do have a rising chance of some showers and storms. I'll have all those details and more coming up in your Viper 6 forecast. Jenny?
Very much. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis files his 2024 candidacy for South Carolina's first in the South Republican presidential primary. DeSantis filed his paperwork in Columbia this morning. He's also rolling out his military policy during a campaign stop in the Palmetto State. The South Carolina GOP primary is scheduled for February 24th.
Augusta City leaders considering a new home for the rowing club. That club's been in the boathouse since the 1990s, but commissioners are going to demolish that because of maintenance issues. So they're considering a proposal to build a new home for the rowing club at an estimated cost between $500,000 and $600,000.
At least we're able to provide a building for them. They actually provide the economic value by bringing in all these people from throughout the United States for the rowing, and they actually going to expand it into numerous rowing tournaments.
Commissioners say the deal would depend on the rowing club agreeing to pay a marketplace rent over a long-term lease. Parts of a popular park in Thompson shut down and set for demolition later this week. Graham Lee covering the future of Sweetwater Park and what that means for the people in McDuffie County.
Sweetwater Park has been a sweet treat to the people of Thompson for decades. But as the park is aging, so is its facilities, like this tower. But in just a few days, it will come down to make this park look brand new. The project has been in discussion for the last few years, as the concession stand and surrounding lights have been worn and torn over time. After requests from the community to do something about it, McDuffie County is partnering with the Cranston Engineering Group to complete the $2.2 million project, something that Director Trevor Welcher says will benefit everyone in the Thompson area.
I know people have already been calling us asking when is the demolition, when is the renovation going to take place. We want to bring this tournament back, we bring that tournament back. This is a community park, and that's what we are here at the Recreation Department. We are pro community, pro kids, pro everybody in Thompson and Dutton County and surrounding counties.
Walter says crews will be working for the next 6 to 8 months on the project. The new tower and lights are expected to be finished by early next year. In Thompson, Graham Lee, WJBF, News Channel 6.
A new retail development is on its way to North Augusta, going to be setting up shop at a very busy part of that town. It's the Valvoline Oil Change Store, and it's coming to the River Commons Shopping Center right next to Kroger and Lowe's near Knox Avenue. Developers presented the project in June, got the support from the Planning Commission, and then the council took a look at it last night.
That land is kind of tucked back in there. It's kind of L-shaped piece of land, so it fits perfect with the commercial side of it. So no, we think it's going to be great.
It's going to be a big deal. No word yet on when they're breaking ground. We will keep you updated. A new law for the sale of tobacco products in South Carolina. A new law for the sale of tobacco products in South Carolina, where merchants now have to report that they sell tobacco products to the South Carolina Department of Revenue. They have to do it by mid-August. That's even if businesses already have cigarette stamps or other tobacco product accounts with the state. They still have to sign up. They got notifications about all this last week. Business owners, we have a link for you if you need it on our website, WJBF.com.
If your children are eligible for pandemic EBT benefits, the South Carolina Department of Social Services says you need to make sure your address is up to date. DSS says federal pandemic EBT cards will be sent out in September. Eligible families should go to the DSS website to verify the address on file is correct. Students who qualify for free or reduced lunch are typically eligible for the benefit.
If you've had any changes or maybe you've moved or relocated, please make sure that your address is correct, because that is really going to cut down on delays that parents may face when they receive a card, as well as that's going to make sure that we can process the information as quickly as possible to get those benefits out to the families that need them and that qualify.
Families have until August 10th to update their information. One of South Carolina's most wanted men is now back in the state. 43-year-old Jeroid Price is at the Kirkland Reception and Evaluation Center today. He's a convicted killer whose early release from prison was vacated in April. Price was captured in New York last week. Augusta is one of two cities Dr. Jill Biden is visiting today. The First Lady arrived at Augusta Regional this afternoon and then went on to Augusta Technical College. Dr. Biden making that stop there today as part of the Investing in America tour.
Yes, she, along with other national and local leaders, talked about their efforts to try to bring good-paying jobs to the CSRA. Hannah Latier reports.
The First Lady came here to Augusta Technical College to speak about how the Augusta Workforce Hub is meant to prepare students for technical and manufacturing jobs and oversee some of the programs students are involved in. Hi, how are you? The trip started with Dr. Biden watching middle school summer camp students learn about soldering.
Sure, so you just want me to push this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
To watching Augusta Tech mechatronics students audit an assembly line. Then, after some remarks from other local and national leaders, the First Lady spoke about what the Biden-Harris administration has invested in Augusta and nationwide. She spoke specifically about electric vehicle and battery manufacturing in Georgia and Augusta, and how we need these programs for students to get jobs in this industry.
And that's why he's strengthening communities like Augusta, fueling a nationwide manufacturing boom and creating new opportunities for hard-working families. His leadership has helped transform our economy with more than 13 million jobs created.
Dr. Biden also stopping in Pittsburgh on this trip. In Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Still ahead, helping a family in need.
That's what folks in Saluda are doing for one special child. Her story and how she's being helped when we return.
Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight. Tonight at 7:30 on News Channel 6.
Sometimes you just need a little more space in your home. Can't always get it, but with the right furniture, you can get more out of the space you do have. It's easy at Rooms to Go. Fashionable, functional furniture that helps you do more for less. So turn any room into a guest room. Turn a small space into something more. Turn a spare room into your favorite room. And transform your home into exactly what you need. I'm Julianne Huff, and this is what's possible at Rooms to Go.
Did you know? Spa and your choice of 2 sauces. So good, you'll want to get both and split them with a friend. Download the Botangle app and order ahead. It's bow time.
Members of the Saluda community coming together to help a family in need of a medical transport van.
News Channel 6's Brandon Dawson has the details.
Cynthia Del Valle Silvero is an 11-year-old who will soon be attending Saluda Middle School, and her big personality is why so many people are fond of her.
She is like a little celebrity in the school, and the teachers all love her. The kids wave at her, they open doors for her.
The community here is really sweet. I really love every person that comes to me and says hi.
Physical therapist Daniel Pfeiffer works with Cynthia on a regular basis.
She has had a problem with her spine. She was born with it. In physical therapy, I work with her arms and legs. We do some strengthening exercises, stretching, that sort of thing.
Now that she's older, Cynthia and her family need a transport van for her wheelchair.
The medical transport van that she will have will be allowed to accommodate her manual wheelchair needs and the power wheelchair needs. She will have a special needs bus take her to school in the fall, but whenever she goes to appointments, whenever she goes somewhere with her family or to church, she will need a transport van to safely get her there.
The Saluda Elementary staff has teamed up with Help Hope Live, a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising funds for medical bills and expenses through crowdfunding.
Insurance covers wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, all those things. Transport vans can be very expensive.
Their goal is to raise the funds for Cynthia and her family.
Well, up to now, her mother has had to lift her up to the van whenever they go anywhere, which is getting difficult. Cynthia's getting bigger. She's growing, which is good, but she needs something to protect her mom and take care of Cynthia's needs.
Cynthia loves that so many people in the community are willing to help her and her family.
Well, it makes me feel like I do have a community who helps me, and also because they're trying their best to help me in some way in this fundraiser.
In the future, Cynthia also wants to give back.
I mostly want to give back to all my pediatric intensive care unit nurses, so that's what I'm going to be when I grow up.
The fundraiser for Cynthia's transport van is going on right now, and the organizers and her family are thankful for anyone that can help.
This child has a really big heart, and this is a real need for this child and her family, and if there's any donation that you can make, no matter how small, it will really help, and we certainly appreciate it.
This is Brandon Dawson, WJBF.
News Channel 6.
Woo! Nice job.
She's coming after your job, Brandon. Well, if you would like to help Cynthia and her family, you can do so by going to our website, WJBF.com. Just look for this story.
Summer may be coming to an end, but the fun is just getting started in McCormick County. Students and their families are invited to a back-to-school registration bash tomorrow at the middle school gym. There will be door prizes, a community health fair, and an opportunity to meet the teachers. It runs from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are other local back-to-school events throughout the month of July. We have a list for you at WJBF.com.
And don't forget our Giving Your Best Stuff the Bus school supply drive for students in the two-state runs through July 29th. You can drop off donations here at Television Park during business hours or at any Security Federal Bank in our area. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney JD.
Weeknights starting at 6 on BTV. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Good Tuesday, everyone, and it certainly is a hot and also a hazy day here across the CSRA. We have some hazy skies up in the distance. Here's our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam at SRP Park, where we do have a baseball game that's going to start at 7:05 p.m. as we have the Augusta Green Jackets facing off against the Fredericksburg Nationals. It certainly is going to be a steamy swelter out there. Right now, 93 degrees in Augusta with southeast winds at 6 miles per hour. So here's the wildfire smoke, the big picture. We have wildfires burning up in western Canada, and the jet stream is carrying all this wildfire smoke down towards our area, and that's why we're seeing these hazy skies today, and that's also leading to some limited air quality. We do have an air quality alert in effect for McCormick and Saluda counties through 10 a.m. on your Wednesday. But the good news is for tomorrow, the smoke is going to start to clear as we have more rain chances as we go into the rest of the week. So all these areas shaded in the orange and purple, that's where we have heat alerts of very hot air masses overhead as we have a heat dome in place. Right now it's 107 degrees in Dallas, 93 degrees in Augusta, and 93 in Birmingham, 97 in Little Rock, and it certainly is very muggy outside. Dew points well up into the 70s in some spots, and that will make it feel very muggy outside. It feels hotter than the actual temperature. It feels like 113 degrees, remarkable in Little Rock. 109 degrees is what it feels like in Dallas. It feels 99 degrees, almost the century mark here in Augusta. So limit your time outdoors, drink plenty of water. So here's that heat dome in place to our south, and that's creating dry and hot air. We do have these storm systems riding over that ridge of high pressure, and that's going to impact us as we head towards the middle of the week. So here's Futurecast starting at 6 a.m. on your Wednesday. We do have a trough that's going to be pushing southward that could bring us a few showers and storms heading into tomorrow afternoon. But you can see here that's weakening. The good news as we go towards the afternoon, drying out tomorrow night, and then another round comes in on your Thursday. Here's 6 a.m. starting off nice and dry, but by the afternoon, here comes a cold front that could be triggering some showers and storms Thursday afternoon into the Thursday evening as we go forward. So here's tomorrow starting off nice and dry. As we head towards the afternoon, we could be seeing a spotty shower or thunderstorm, say around 1 or 2 p.m. across the area, and then that becomes a little bit more isolated to our south as heading towards Wednesday evening. So if you are heading to the pool, it's going to be a hot one in the middle 90s, feeling more like 100 to 105 degrees with isolated storms. Severe weather threat, I'm thinking, is to our north, but we could see some heavy rainfall and gusty winds. Thursday, pretty much the same case. We have these storms erupting during the afternoon, possibly strong to severe, and that's going to be the case for Augusta, Aiken. Heavy rainfall and also some damaging winds is possible. So here's your 10-day forecast. Going forward, we have temperatures approaching 100 degrees on your Friday, and by the weekend, temperatures in the 90s, and still pretty hot heading towards next week. Temperatures in the middle 90s with continued storm chances as we go forward. Back to you.
Miller, thanks. Car problems are heating up as some mechanics are seeing more heat-related issues drive or towed into their garages.
But there are a few things you can do to keep your car out of the shop. Here's Brian Will.
These extremely hot temperatures can cause severe issues to your vehicle, not only with comfort due to lack of AC, but also issues with your tires.
This tire is unsafe for the road, period.
David Hartson of ProCare Automotive has seen his fair share of damaged vehicles thanks to the extreme heat.
The dirt buildup, this is just normal driving.
From cracks in tires, dirty radiators, to broken cooling fans.
Controller, and also the cooling fan itself, one or the other can go bad.
They can all be serious issues that can affect the way your vehicle drives or even leave you stranded on the side of the road.
A radiator and fan replacement is common. It's almost every day we get that. So especially this time of year.
Another common thing he sees is cracks in tires, which can lead to blowouts and even more expensive repairs.
There's one thing that the desert does with batteries and tires, you don't get a whole long life out of them.
The biggest things to look out for.
And I would look for any leaks at any of these fittings.
He also recommends checking your temperature gauges and inspecting your vehicle often.
Some of these new cars have lights versus gauges, and that's difficult because usually when the light comes on, it's too late.
If you suspect anything is wrong with your vehicle, make sure to get it into your mechanic so it doesn't end up on a lift like this.
And you can avoid avoid heat-related breakdowns by maintaining your engine coolants and getting a regular oil change.
And be sure to top off fluids and make sure your battery's good and your tire pressure is the right level as well.
Coming up, a fishing trip leads to a very rare sighting in Louisiana.
The big discovery. Up next. Stay with us.
At Jefferson Energy Cooperative, we strive to provide reliable electric service to our...
Up next. Stay with us.
At Jefferson Energy Cooperative, we strive to provide reliable electric service to our members. Our crews work tirelessly to keep the energy flowing to your home, office, or school in a safe, responsible way. Being a partner in education is very important to us. We present several foundation scholarships to graduating seniors. We show students the inner workings of our government with the Washington Youth Tour, and we're proud partners in the Scholar Athlete Awards. Learn more at jec.coop. Jefferson Energy Cooperative. Local offices, local people, local service.
Why should you call a lawyer after a car accident? Without a lawyer, you might not get the money you deserve or the medical care you need. Call 706-724-7224.
Wrap up your
road trips.
When it comes to getting out of an abusive relationship, there were several different challenges. Having someone by your side that you can just sit and talk to and tell your story to, and they fill the paperwork out. Even the officers were amazed at how fast I had gotten a protective order. And I remember educating them about their resources and safe homes. It's all a process, and it's long and it's hard, but you just have to be willing to do it.
You can't download it today.
A rare sight in Louisiana. A man fishing in the Gulf of Mexico when a pink dolphin appeared. Look at that. Comes out of the water just for a moment. There have only been 3 sightings over the last decade of pink dolphins.
Yeah, that pink color comes from a genetic mutation and is extremely rare to see in the wild. Experts say it's likely an albino dolphin.
Pretty.
That's really interesting.
Pretty creature. Wow. There's a lot more coverage you can count on coming up next on News Channel 6 at 4:30.
We will talk about that in detail. All coming up in just a few minutes. Jenny Brand.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Coverage you can count on continuing now with Dr. Jill Biden making a stop in Augusta today. It's part of her Investing in America tour. The First Lady arrived at Augusta Regional Airport about 12:30 this afternoon.
And once her visit got underway, she talked about ways to create good-paying jobs in the CSRA, as Hannah Latier reports.
The First Lady came here to Augusta Technical College to speak about how the Augusta Workforce Hub is meant to prepare students for technical and manufacturing jobs and oversee some of the programs students are involved in.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
The trip started with Dr. Biden watching middle school summer camp students learn about soldering, to watching Augusta Tech mechatronics students audit an assembly line.
Sure, so you just want me to push this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
With Augusta being an Investing in America workforce hub city, this is what some of the private and public investment money is going toward. Local leaders spoke about how the program has benefited not only the city of Augusta, but also its partners, including Augusta Tech, Aiken Tech, and the Richmond County school system. The First Lady spoke about how the Biden-Harris administration has invested in Augusta and nationwide. She spoke specifically about electric vehicle and battery manufacturing in the state and how we need these programs for students to get jobs in this industry.
That means a growing clean energy industry, building the facilities to manufacture the batteries of our powering our future. But in order to keep this progress going, employers need more skilled workers.
And she believes these opportunities are especially important for certain groups.
To reach out to every community so more women, especially African American women, can access these pathways. To the little girls and all the women who are listening, the doors are open, and these jobs are for you too.
Dr.
getting ready to host a drive for a deputy who was injured in the line of duty. It's Richmond County Deputy Kenneth Mercer. You'll remember critically injured in a shooting this month. He had to have a massive blood transfusion, and so Shepherd needs your help to replenish its supply. They're hosting a blood drive this Friday at the Augusta Municipal Building, 10 until 5. If you can't make it Friday, you can just go to any Shepherd location and ask for your donation to be credited to Deputy Mercer's account.
2 men are behind bars.
Hazy, smoky conditions continue. So much so we have an air quality alert for McCormick and Saluda counties, and then of course much of South Carolina. What will that mean for the rest of our forecast? We'll talk about that and that humidity that's increasing as well, all coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 7, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden in Augusta today. What she had to say about her husband's Bidenomics plan. Plus, finding a new home for the Augusta Rowing Club, why one commissioner says a new building could bring more money into the city. A popular park is being torn down in Thompson. What this means for the community at Your News at 7 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 7.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching News Channel 6 at 7. I'm Dee Griffin. Thanks so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with the First Lady, along with other national and local leaders, sharing how they say Bidenomics investments are working toward creating pathways to good-paying jobs in the CSRA. Hannah Latier has more details about her trip.
The First Lady came here to Augusta Technical College to speak about how the Augusta Workforce Hub is meant to prepare students for technical and manufacturing jobs and oversee some of the programs students are involved in.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
The trip started with Dr. Biden watching middle school summer camp students learn about soldering, to watching Augusta Tech mechatronics students audit an assembly line.
Sure, so you just want me to push these, right?
Yes, ma'am.
With Augusta being an Investing in America workforce hub city, this is what some of the private and public investment money is going toward. Local leaders spoke about how the program has benefited not only the city of Augusta, but also its partners, including Augusta Tech, Aiken Tech, and the Richmond County school system. The First Lady spoke about how the Biden-Harris administration has invested in Augusta and nationwide. She spoke specifically about electric vehicle and battery manufacturing in the state and how we need these programs for students to get jobs in this industry.
That means a growing clean energy industry, building the facilities to manufacture the batteries of our powering our future. But in order to keep this progress going, employers need more skilled workers.
And she believes these opportunities are especially important for certain groups.
To reach out to every community so more women, especially African American women, can access these pathways. To the little girls and all the women who are listening, the doors are open. And these jobs are for you too.
Dr. Biden also stopping in Pittsburgh on this trip. In Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis visited